Hey guys, welcome back. Maverick here with another episode of Mushoku Tensei. So, last episode we got Rudy get himself some pretty OP powers. The power of precognition. I don't think there's been any sort of fantasy series or light novel series, whatever you want to call it, or anime, where the power of seeing into the future, even for a few seconds, was not super OP, right? But then again, we still have the entire series to go on to see how Rudy will does it. Rudy being a former otaku, though. I'm sure he understands the full gravity of what he actually holds in his hands, or I guess more specifically his eyes at this point. Beyond that, obviously we are going to go forward and see how exactly they get themselves off the island. I mentioned before, I don't. Sorry, not the island, but get off this land and get on a boat and go back home. I said before, most probably in this kind of situation, you encounter some legendary event, right? Especially with the god helping as well. Well, let's just see where this goes, right? Because honestly, my memory is fuzzy. The only thing I can actually remember at this point is that, Roxy and Rudy are going to come excruciatingly close to each other numerous times, but ultimately still diverge, fated to never meet. I honestly can't even remember if they meet at all during this arc, and if they do, it would be really late. So, let's get into it. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1... play. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Well, she is a mature, responsible adult, Roxy. Don't worry about her. What she actually wants to say is, my heart's already taken. I do enjoy the fact that that Mushoku Tensei mixes the opening with stuff actually happening, right? Oh. Well, they all have, like, huge personalities, I guess you could say. Alright. If only you knew, Roxy. If only you knew. Okay, a year now. Gather intelligence. To be fair, though, that's actually a quite effective way of gathering intelligence. This ties in with last episode. Too bad. And there's Rudy walking off. Oh, so the girl Rudy was hearing was actually her. Okay. Oh. Uh. Uh, the characters, the characters in this series, though. Rudy. Oh, she is such a hopeless romantic. And does. Alright, I reckon we'll take a look at what Rudy and others are doing. Oh, are they smuggling? Yep, smuggling. Yeah, this guy definitely is no stranger to light novels, anime, so on, so forth. How'd you get the coffee? Knock one out! Oh, that was fast, Rudy. And there they are. Ah. No, she's seriously considering. And this is someone with a lot of energy to. A lot of pin-up energy to release right now. Oh. Man, full props to Ruger. The fact that, you know, he can stay calm in all this. How are you going to sell this peacefully? I mean, if everybody is killed, then what kind of reputation is there to leak out? Ooh. Can't even scream like this dude. Nah, it's just Rudyard. I can't. I okay. Oh, that big doggy. I see. Okay. I guess this is another. I guess this is going to be a very important companion in the future? Question mark. Ah. Okay. Sacred beast. Okay. Okay. Well, legendary event, guys, right? Legendary events. Alright, I don't think we need to. Oh, well, this actually looks pretty interesting. Hold on. Well, I mean, I can probably watch this on my own. Anyways, I'll see you guys after this. Alright guys, so as I mentioned before, you gotta have the legendary luck and the legendary events happening to you, right? So, presumably this is going to set off Rudy into some other thing where he eventually befriends the beast people, the beastkin, whatever they are called, and so on and so forth, right? And honestly, at this point forward, I can truly say that I have not read this far and I do not remember, or actually I do not know a single thing going forward, right? So we had that entire teasing with Roxy and Rudy. Somehow in my mind, it kind of got, I thought that happened a lot more or whatnot, but, you know, they are now completely on different paths at this point, right? So, you know, they're each going to be doing their own thing around here. It seems that Rudy still has this sort of mental block within him in terms of killing or you know, actually violence and confrontation. I don't know if this is actually going to be something that continues on potentially even far into the future, right? Or if this is going to represent like a huge hurdle he is going to need to go, he is going to need to cross over somehow sometime later. Perhaps not exactly right now, right? Like this is still during his adventuring and whatnot, he's still not fully of age. And actually to that point, I don't even know if this is, you know, basically the form that we can expect going forward for most of Mushoku Tensei's story to take place in this sort of child form and whatnot. But, you know, I would say perhaps not so. And it's definitely something that we still need to put an eye on in the future, right? Because sometime in the future when things truly matter, what exactly is Rudy's response going to be at that time, right? Because clearly, this is some sort of mental block, right? And this is something stemming from, his memories from his previous world, his previous life, and so on and so forth. So not exactly something that can be easily changed. Although I guess you could argue that it's kind of a tall order to ask an actual child, right? Even if he did not have his former life and whatnot, to actually ask a child to go around kill things, well, it's hard to say, right? Because this is, after all, more of a fantasy sort of world where they have a more medieval type of setting, and so you can't also really consider things to be similar for someone who is who comes from the modern world. Like, even if Rudy's former life, he wasn't like just this shut-in, useless NEET or something of that sort. Even then, like, if you just transport like somebody like myself or yourself or any average person to that world, you probably also hesitate a lot as well, right? So I don't really blame him for that. We are conditioned in this modern world. We're not used to dealing with that kind of things, with life and death situations and whatnot. So it's an entirely different beast, I would say, and even more so for Rudy. But they are really making a big deal out of all this, so I do have a feeling it's going to come up, sooner or later in the future once again, and maybe with some important consequences as well. The rest of this episode, I mean, we got the required fan service, we got the the required Rudy perving on someone or another, numerous times and whatnot. But hey, that's just part of the series at this point, right? Continuing forward, yeah, I don't really know what much to say at this point, except that Rudyard is probably not going to be take too kindly to Rudy's treatment and whatnot. Although the fact that Rudy can actually speak their language probably helps him, right? And so on and so forth. Yeah, I actually don't know. Like I said, I haven't read further than this, but I wouldn't doubt that probably Rudy comes out of this with some nice allies and potentially one or two future waifus in the future, right? And heck, maybe even the dog as well, or as they call it, the sacred holy beast and whatnot. Who is, by the way, is cute. Is so goddamn cute. Look at him, look at him just leap up and such a big oversized doggo and whatnot. Kind of reminds me of but anyways, I feel like, this is quite a common trope nowadays. Anyways, so, yeah, what else from this episode to say? I guess not really all that much else. On Roxy's position, Roxy with her sort of own adventures and whatnot, like, I do get this kind of feeling that they will eventually converge sometime, right? Perhaps even by the time before they actually get back to the main continent, the central continent, and whatnot. So, and it's also good to know that 1 year has already passed since that event back there. So, this is definitely something that to keep in mind as well. Once they get back, things could have drastically changed already, right? And in fact, I am expecting that as well once they get back, and it's probably going to be an entirely different situation. So actually, with that in mind, I do get this kind of feeling that probably this is the furthest we will go in terms of Rudy's growth at this point, right? We are starting the actual adventure from here, so we'll have to see about that going into the future. And if they are going to still continue from this, I mean, kind of makes sense, question mark. But, yeah. After all, there are some things that only Rudy in his more childlike body is able to do, right? And you're able to, like, be unassuming, and so people will underestimate you, and so on and so forth. But, it has its perks. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all to say for this episode. Not really too much else to go about. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We haven't really seen some big developments at this point yet. So I'll just see you guys in the future in the next week's episode. So until then, bye bye.